Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations. On September 10th, PBS Hawaii President and CEO Leslie Wilcox, Bank of Hawaii Foundation President Donna Tanoue, and HMSA Senior Vice President of Consumer Experience Elisa Yadao announced the winners of the 2013 HIKI NŌ Awards in a web-only online presentation. Here are highlights from that presentation and the High School Division award-winning stories shown in their entirety.
The nominees for Best News Writing Division in the High School Division are
FARRINGTON High School for T-Shirt Theater.
T-Shirt Theater teaches very positive morals by means of comedy.
Iolani School for 100th Battalion Clubhouse.
Despite the prejudice against us, we fought gallantly.
Kamehameha Schools Kapalama for Giugni Archives.
Our mission is to preserve and make accessible as much of Hawaii's moving image history as possible.
Roosevelt High School for Beach Bum Cafe.
The Beach Bum Cafe opened the door to meet new people over a cup of Hawaiian coffee.
And Waialua High and Intermediate School for North Shore GMO protest.
These activists are concerned about the long-term impact of GMO crops and pesticides on their health and the environment.
And the winner for Best News Writing in the High School Division is... drumroll.
Kamehameha Schools Kapalama Giugni Archives.
Our mission is to preserve and make accessible as much of Hawaii's moving image history as possible.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if every second of video holds about 30 individual frames, the stories preserved at the Henry Kualoha Giugni Moving Film Archive are immeasurable.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you tonight at Da Vinci's the Makaha Sons of Ni'ihau.
When I was a young filmmaker and I used to go out there and collect amazing footage. At the time I didn't know it was an amazing footage. I just wanted to be near my Hawaiian community. I wanted to be able to document them.
Aloha, I'm Genoa Keawe. I've been singing for over 40 years.
Well, I'm actually very humbled to be, the first elected Hawaiian governor, and it's especially humbling in the year of the Hawaiian.
What we have here in all these little pictures here are voices of people that helped build Hawaii. This was a dream, not just my dream, but dreams of many people that came together.
One influential man in particular made this dream a reality.
My father dedicated his entire life to Senator Inouye. They met each other in the 50s and they became best friends. At my father's death, the senators and his staff came to me and wanted to do something. And so this is what they chose to do.
Librarians have long been archiving history, but this temperature and climate-controlled facility, which recently moved to its new home at the UH West Oahu campus, is the first of its kind in the Pacific.
Now, as people are learning about the archives, all of this great footage that people haven't seen in years and years coming to us, and just my excitement of being able to make that, being able to share it and make it accessible through our work at Ulu Ulu is really, really exciting to me.
With over 20,000 precious videotapes and film reels, the archives face the challenge of not just preserving it, but also making it available to the greater public.
So our website is open not just for UH students, not just for people in Hawaii, but it's a public resource. So anybody can go online and see, what Hawaii looked like in the 1940s. Not just people who remember it, firsthand, but people who never had that experience.
What we have here is a primary educational resource. I see it as the voices of our ancestors that are sitting on those shelves, that have voices that we can continually learn about into the future.
As the voices of the past inspire our own dreams for the future, we can be grateful for the visionaries behind this amazing resource. Reporting from UH West Oahu for Kamehameha Schools Kapalama, I'm Shisa Kahonaile for HIKI NŌ.
And the nominees for Best Personal Profile High School Division are
HALAU LOKAHI Public Charter School for Auntie Leo.
I think it helped me understand not only what the instrument needs to do, but what the voice needs to do to tell a story.
Hilo High School for Losing a Parent.
We were really close. She was like a big sister.
HP Baldwin High School for Beth Arnold, Paralympian.
It was really, really difficult to deal with the transition.
Punahou School for Youngest Beekeeper.
You can often find Dakota and his father working side by side, harvesting their honey.
And Waimea High School for Rambla Clothing.
Like most businesses, Rambla has had to overcome many obstacles.
And the winner for Best Personal Profile in the high school division is
Punahou School, Youngest Beekeeper.
Congratulations, Punahou School.
Dakota Miller, a freshman at Punahou School, spends his time caring for over 30,000 bees, making him the youngest beekeeper in Hawaii.
A few years ago, in 2009, we met this guy at a farmer's market. His name was Howard McGinnis, and he offered to take us out beekeeping, and we went out to his hives, and he showed us how to beekeep. And after a few times of going out with him to his hives, he then offered us a hive in our backyard, and we said, sure, we'll take one. And that's basically how we got started.
One of the benefits of beekeeping is, of course, the honey. You can often find Dakota and his father, Keith Miller, working side by side, harvesting their honey.
To collect the honey, first we have to take the super off the hive, then we take the frames out, take the cappings off the frames, which is the wax over the honey, and spin out all the honey. And then we drain it out into a bucket and filter it, and then we put it in bottles, and they put the frames back on the hive for the bees to build more honey on. Most of the time we just sell it to family and friends, but once a year we normally sell it at the Honey Festival, which for the past few years has been at Senator Fong's plantation.
Dakota's concern for Hawaii's dwindling bee population is a significant reason why he invests so much time and effort into caring for these bees.
I'm concerned about the bee population in Hawaii because probably about 90% of the wild beehives in Hawaii have been killed off by either the varroa mite or the small hive beetle, and that's not good for the environment or crops. Bees pollinate almost 2/3 of our food crops and a lot of other plants that make up the forest. We're propagating bees by making more beehives and helping put more bees in our area, because they can fly up to 5 miles in any direction from the hive, so that's a lot of bees to go around. When the bees need more space in their hive, they swarm and move to a new location with a new queen. Sometimes people don't want beehives in their house. They call an exterminator because they think the bees are going to attack them. So what we do is we come in, we save the bees and give them a new home in a safe place. Beekeeping makes me feel happy, and I'm pretty proud of being the youngest beekeeper in Hawaii because it's an interesting thing, and it's fun to beekeep and watch how your hives change and watching the bees grow.
Although maintaining the hives requires work and dedication, for Dakota, protecting Hawaii's bees and helping to preserve their place in our ecosystem is his sweet reward. This is Elena Kobayashi from Punahou School for HIKI NŌ.
And the nominees for Best Anchor Team High School Division are
Iolani School,
Since then, twins from all corners of campus have come together for food and fellowship.
KALAHEO High School.
Standing next to me is a shower tree planted for alumnus Christine Snyder.
Kamehameha Schools Kapalama.
Students as well as community groups can learn about traditions such as food preparation, crafts, and deep sea navigation.
Maui High School.
Senior Jessica Green, who recently got accepted to the University of Southern California, is a frequent visitor here at the College Center.
And WAIMEA High School.
Kamwali'i thought he could reclaim his kingdom with help from Russia.
And the winner for Best Anchor Team in the high school division is...
Kamehameha Schools Kapalama.
Congratulations, that's the second win for Kamehameha Kapalama.
And now, highlights from Kamehameha Schools Kapalama's winning anchor segments.
Welcome to Kapalama Heights, home to the Kamehameha Schools on the island of Oahu. Our 600-acre campus sits on a mountain, which provides a very unique learning experience for our over 2,700 kindergartners to 12th graders. While many associate us as a school on the hill, our humble beginnings actually began down in Kalihi, where the Bishop Museum stands today. In 1887, the wishes of the last royal descent of Kamehameha the Great, Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop, were fulfilled with the founding of a school to educate Hawaiians. During her lifetime, she witnessed the rapid demise of Hawaiians' health and welfare. She believed education would improve the well-being of her people. 125 years later, her extraordinary vision continues to inspire us today.
We're here at the Ka'iwa Kilomoku Hawaiian Cultural Center, Kamehameha Kapalama's newest building. It's an intergenerational learning center dedicated to Nohona Hawaii, Hawaiian living and learning. Students as well as community groups can learn about traditions such as food preparation, crafts, and deep sea navigation through hands-on experiences at this site. This year, Kamehameha Kapalama celebrated the opening of an updated middle school, Keli'i Maikai. It features a very unique trait: no walls. Yes, open classrooms achieve a more HALAU style of learning and sharing. This makes a lasting impression upon them before venturing further mauka to the high school campus.
Welcome back to Kamehameha Kapalama, the home base for this episode of HIKI NŌ. With students hailing from Waimanalo to Makaha, we face the challenge of transporting them to our hillside campus every day. The Kamehameha bus fleets do just that. They also transport students to athletic events, but more significantly, they shuttle us up and down the 1.5-mile long campus to our next class. For some students, Kamehameha can really become home. Students may board in grades 7 through 12 and come from all over our island state. In fact, some even hail from the U.S. mainland or internationally. Over 500 boarding students take advantage of Kamehameha's facilities after hours. Over the course of their stay here, they create unbreakable bonds that can only be defined as ohana. Aloha and welcome back to Kapalama Heights and our Kamehameha Performing Arts Center. This is where students can hit high notes as part of our chorus or concert glee, or take to the stage in theater classes. And who doesn't love to dance? Some like to get funky with the Kamehameha Dance Company or go back to their roots as part of the Hawaiian Ensemble. Lastly, there's an annual televised song contest where classes get together to compete for prestigious awards and, most importantly, bragging rights.
The next category is named after a very special person in PBS Hawaii's history, the late Nino J. Martin. We're going to take a look at the legacy of this great television producer.
Nino J. Martin, writer, producer, director, brought his amazing talents and abilities to Hawaii Public Television in the early 1970s.
Joined them back in 1970. We worked on a lot of productions over those years.
Nino created many memorable and groundbreaking shows like Spectrum, The Calabash Tree, and Mele Hawaii. But perhaps Nino is best remembered for his highly successful cooking show. That was not only his idea, he was its host for many years.
I started
PBS in '79 as a student. I was a student hire. That was the first opportunity that I had to work with Nino. That international kitchen show was probably way ahead of its time because at the time, no one had anything similar or close to it. But that's how Nino thought. His thinking was always big.
Nino's talents didn't stop there. He immersed himself in telling compelling stories in unique ways. Such was the case with the Peabody Award-winning production of Damien, based on a play by Aldith Morris and starring Terrence Knapp. It remains a shining example of Nino's attention to detail.
They decided we're going to make a show out of this. This is going to be famous. We got to one particular scene, and apparently we had to do it 26 times. But that's the type of director Nino was. You know, if he felt that you were getting away from what he wanted, he was going to find a way to get you back into that.
Nino was passionate about what he did, and he really took it very, very seriously. He was hard on himself, sometimes hard on the people that worked for him, all in the interest of doing the very best job possible so that another professional could look at it and say, this guy really knows what he's doing.
Whenever you do a production, you have to think of it from its finished product point of view. In other words, what is it going to look like when you're done? And you work backward from there. Again, with the camera movement, because it's flowing, you're waltzing with that camera, with the music. You're keeping in time with the music that's going on. When you're cutting it in time with the music. So when you have a finished product, it's as if you, the audience, were the partner of that television production, and you're dancing with it.
Nino J. Martin passed away in 1988, but his legacy endures at PBS Hawaii and throughout Hawaii's television industry.
The reason we named the Production Excellence Award after Nino J. Martin is because he really set the bar for production quality, not just at PBS Hawaii, but really in the state of Hawaii, and that's what we want to convey for HIKI NŌ. So I think what we're looking for in this award, because it's a production award, is really a creative use of the medium. This award is about really using the media, the visual medium, the sound, to its potential to tell a story, to have an effect on the audience. Without compelling use of the medium, it isn't going to be good television. And so that's what this award is about.
PBS Hawaii is proud to present the Nino J. Martin Excellence in Production Award. The award is presented to the participating school whose HIKI NŌ story best exemplifies the production quality that Nino would have applauded.
The nominees for the Nino J. Martin Excellence in Production Award High School Division are
Island School for Living Off the Grid.
Luke Eslin's life was almost taken from him when the propeller of his escort boat tore through his back during the championship race between Molokai and Oahu.
Maui High School for Back in Line.
When I found out I had scoliosis, I often cried a lot about the thought that I would have to quit band.
Punahou School for Youngest Beekeeper.
You can often find Dakota and his father working side by side harvesting their honey.
Seabury Hall Upper School for Kaho'olawe.
The island is slowly but surely being revegetated into the beautiful land it once was.
And Waianae High School for Ka'ala Farm Brush Fire.
All of the aloha that they put into sustaining life inside here for generations, that's the aloha that's still here.
And the winner of the Nino J. Martin Excellence in Production Award for the high school division is...
Tough competition. Yeah. Maui High School, Back in Line.
Congratulations, Maui High School.
What's it? I collect souvenir pennies, I like baking, I like pets, and I like to take care of children.
15-year-old Maui High School sophomore Tali Nakamura shines with smiles and laughter, but playing her saxophone is indeed what makes her heart sing. Being only a sophomore and a section leader, Tally maintains her tempo with her sense of humor.
Some people think I'm a band geek, but I don't think I'm a band geek, but I love band.
She's a pain in the butt. Artistic. Happy most of the time. Very talented, very lazy. Did I say happy?
That's hard.
But pain is something Tally is too familiar with.
When I found out I had scoliosis, I often cried a lot about the thought that I would have to quit band.
Tally is not the only one facing a hard turn.
It worries us in the sense that how is it going to affect the rest of her life? Is it going to limit her capabilities? How is she going to live with pain? You know, it concerns everybody.
But Tally's love for music is what motivates her to march out of bed every morning.
When I wake up, sometimes the pain, it hurts so much. I just don't want to get out of bed, but I'm forced to because I have to go to school and go to band rehearsal.
As a leader, she feels a sense of responsibility to the team.
It's very important that if I'm not there, there would be an empty spot on the field.
Tally's spot in the show may not be the only thing creating misalignment. With a 37-degree curve, she suffers from a moderate to severe type of scoliosis.
This one's even higher than this one. The pain is more like an ache because it pushes all my muscles to one spot.
Tally's back takes a beating with the long and strenuous practices, but it's the performances that relieve her pain.
After the halftime whistle, my heart starts pumping and then the drum solo starts and then all of the nervousness just goes away and I just perform. I don't really think about the pain in my back. Oh wait, no, I'm right there. My doctor said that if my back doesn't get better by April, I would have to quit band.
To help reposition her back, Tally remains disciplined and conditions frequently.
My spine is getting better because I do yoga and go on the gravity inverter to stretch my spine out. It's sore.
By keeping her rhythm, Tally will continue to reach for full recovery. This is Rachel Andrada from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
Hey! And the nominees for Best Overall News Story High School Division are
Maui High School for Back in Line.
When I found out I had scoliosis, I often cried a lot about the thought that I would have to quit band.
Mid-Pacific Institute for Hokulani.
What are they taking a picture of? And then they'll look and they say, oh, look at that cute dog.
MOANALUA High School for Cheering for Life.
Chad learned to deal with the negativity by kicking it aside and dancing to his own beat.
WAIALUA High and Intermediate School for North Shore GMO Protest.
These activists are concerned about the long-term impact of GMO crops and pesticides on their health and the environment.
And Waianae High School for Race to the Top.
From being the mom of the house, cooking, cleaning, and washing everyone's clothes, Daisy has barely any time for herself.
And the winner for Best Overall News Story High School Division is...
This is a tough category.
Another tough category. Waianae High School, Race to the Top.
What do you want to play with, man? Making others happy is what it's all about for Daisy Agai. Her little brothers couldn't agree more. As a sophomore at Waianae High School, time is of the essence for Daisy. Did everybody wash clothes yet? From being the mom of the house, cooking, cleaning, and washing everyone's clothes, Daisy has barely any time for herself.
My daily routine is that I wake up at 7 and then I feed my brother. And I have to make sure that my brother's ready. Get to school at 8, 8:15. After school, I come home, cook food, and then I stay up all night to do my homework.
Although her mother lives at home, a fall that left her barely able to walk forced Daisy to take control of the household duties.
It all started when I was 12 because that's when my little brother was born, and that's when my mom fell, like a major fall, and she could hardly walk.
Oh, yeah. Her brother Samson was born with physical complications that makes it hard for him to eat and breathe on his own. With all the responsibilities at home, Daisy finds it hard to change her attitude towards school.
My grades are kind of low because of all this. My grades are like D's or C's.
It's an all too familiar story at Waianae High School and the Leeward Complex. With dropping HSA scores, it led to the DOE that schools here need help. So in May 2010, the state applied and secured the Race to the Top grant.
It's a federal initiative for schools or states or schools part of different states to make improvements.
Race to the Top is a $75 million grant that will be split among the Nanakuli Complex, Waianae Complex, and the Ka'u Complex on the Big Island.
These schools are receiving this extra support in means of funding extra programs at the school campuses where we are now able to offer tutoring, additional courses for students. For this year, we will be extending the learning time.
For Daisy, this means she gets more time to hang around in school in hopes of cleaning up her grades.
It's been pretty challenging because trying to balance out how to do your homework, plus cook dinner and make sure that your brothers and sisters go to sleep on time.
Yes, it is tough to balance, but she knows that it will be the only way to truly help her family.
I'm going to go to the Army. I'm going to let my family move in with me so I can take care and go to work.
The steady balance between home and school will remain uncertain. But if the extra hour does help to improve school data, it'll not only make Daisy happy, but also the rest of the schools in the zone. This is Desalyn Teal from Waianae High School, reporting for HIKI NŌ.
Congratulations to all of the 2013 HIKI NŌ Award winners. Be sure to join us next week for the premiere episode of HIKI NŌ Season 5. Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo, and by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ. And HMSA, helping Hawaii's youth and their families stay healthy today, tomorrow, and for generations to come. HMSA, trusted for generations.